I love the pop. Hey guys, welcome to What's Happening in Central Oregon. This is, I don't know, we're back at it. It's our
so consistent.
Third in a row. We might actually even start telling people when this is going to go live so they can tune in live.
Oh gosh.
Instead of just kind of randomly throwing it out there. Anyway, welcome. We're glad to have you here. We're going to get right into it. This is What's Happening in Central Oregon, where we talk about news and happenings around the high desert, just so that people can kind of stay informed. And, we like to touch on, economic development, business news that we think is important. It's important to us and important to the community.
It affects us. We live here. So.
All right. So what do we have? What are we going to talk about today? Let's see here. You want to give us the breakdown, like maybe just the bold ones?
Oh man, we're going to do walkable downtown versus business. The parking hot topic.
Can't wait.
Boom, 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 boom. We have new beach improvements down in Miller Landing, which I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah, the renderings look pretty cool. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Sisters is a certified dark sky community.
Ooh,
what does that mean?
How dramatic.
Batman lives there or something. I don't know.
When I hear dark sky, I can't help but think Darkwing Duck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that'll be interesting. We'll talk about that. A little bit of a bummer news. CE Lovejoy's closes after 15 years. We'll touch on that for a minute.
Super sad.
And then we've actually got some really, really exciting news. The Old Mill District. Breaking news. I don't think it's been reported really anywhere yet. The Old Mill District is expanding. The actual shopping mall downtown is expanding. So we'll get into that at the end of the show. Really excited to talk about that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. If you are watching live, whatever. If you're watching, you can leave comments on the podcast too. So
yeah, we want to know your opinions.
We want to know your opinions, and we also want to know where you're listening from. So let us know where you're tuning in from, where you're listening from, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment down there where you're watching from. If you're listening, I think in some platforms you can leave a comment
because we're on like all the platforms.
We're on all,
yeah,
we're on all platforms. That's right. Except for Apple, I still can't figure that out, man. Yeah. You gotta they want all this account stuff. They want my credit card. I'm like, I just want to publish it. Just let me put it up.
Yeah.
So we're not on Apple. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. This first article we're going to talk about, walkable downtown, right? Is car-free People Street the next big step for downtown Bend, or could it end up putting the brakes on local businesses and community life? That's what we're talking about. Which
this also kind of coincides with like our past two podcasts. We've been talking about the Hawthorne Bridge. We've been talking about Greenwood. I mean, this is all kind of coinciding with this article.
So some of this stems from the, what is it called? It's the Climate Friendly and Equitable Communities state mandate, where they are trying to make everything, equitable and climate friendly. And with the climate friendly thing, they're trying to reduce carbon emissions. They want to promote people walking more. And,
we talked about that because that was
kind of back on season 1 of this podcast.
Yeah, like it was happening on Empire with that whole development that's going to go there, the medical and stuff like that. And they want it all to be walkable, and they want to have like a coffee shop, a grocery store, stuff that the neighboring neighborhoods can walk to and utilize.
They want to start building communities where instead of, so the way Bend is kind of, the way most communities are laid out is you've got kind of like a residential area over here and a commercial like shopping area over here. Then you have a industrial area somewhere else where you have to drive from your house to a store to work, and because they're spread out so far. And what they're trying to promote now, what the state is trying to promote in communities of 100,000 or more, is that you live and work and play all in the same very walkable community. So it's layering zoning on top of each other, so where everything can be done within a few blocks. If you think like urban, like downtown, like cities, right? You live maybe on a flat, on a high rise somewhere, but within that building, you've got work, you've got food, you've got, whatever it is, you can walk around. So anyway, that's a long way around to get back to this point. The city of Bend has proposed a couple of different options to take like big primary roads, either Oregon or Minnesota, downtown Bend, and turn them into walkways, turn them into not streets, but just walking. What do you think about that?
I don't really agree with it, but
there she goes. She's like, I'm going to tell you what I think.
I think parking is very important to downtown Bend, and especially during the winter. And, we do have the parking garage, but there's already such limited parking in downtown Bend. And I just don't see how this could benefit, one, the businesses, and also I just don't see why. Walking is not a problem in downtown Bend.
Well, what's interesting is we tied this in, like you said before, this kind of ties into the last couple of podcasts where we were talking about like the Hawthorne Bridge.
Yeah.
So the Hawthorne Bridge is going to come across, and people are going to be able to access from 3rd Street. They're going to be able to walk across the bridge and walk, according if it was on Oregon, they're going to be able to walk all the way straight into downtown.
Well, they can already do that.
Sure, there are sidewalks. They can already do that.
Yeah, and there's also bridges with walk spaces to go under the bypass already, which to me, I just don't understand. I think you need to have, they're used to, they were going to do all of this updating to the other side of the bypass by what Hawthorne will be walking into, and they really haven't done that. So I think if we already, oh gosh, there was a name for that. What was that whole development? Was
the platform?
Not the platform.
By W.H.C.O? Oh, the Makers District.
Yeah, the Makers District. Like if they had already made that like super fun to go down to and enjoy, and then you want to merge that with downtown, I could totally see this. But there's other things that I think will become an issue with making that bridge. And
well, they're also taking that Hawthorne the street exit away.
Yeah.
So people won't be able to turn on to Hawthorne anyway. They're going to have, so it's almost as if they, obviously they designed it this way. Let's take Hawthorne and let's take Oregon, which runs right into Hawthorne, and then let's make it a road that isn't a road. Let's make it a walkway. And so people can't use that part of the street anyway, because we're going to close off that exit, and then people are just going to walk all the way into downtown Bend. Well, I'm here to say that you are not alone in your opinion. The Bend downtown Bend Business Association actually had a survey, and they've had about 1,500 people complete the survey, and 80% of the downtown consumers value more parking and less of the whole car-free street thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I thought it was really interesting that
pull this up real quick.
They estimated that one parking spot brings $250,000 to the downtown businesses. One parking spot.
Wow. Yeah.
So, if you look at the map and what they're, saying they're going to take away Oregon and Minnesota. And so how many parking spots is that?
It's a bunch.
A bunch. What is a bunch categorized as? What is that?
I don't know. A few hundred, I would think.
Which that is, if the businesses can't thrive, what are these people walking to?
Yeah, right here. DBBA says the city has researched the value of parking spots downtown and determined that each parking spot brings nearly $250,000 of revenue to downtown businesses each year. Oregon Avenue between Lava and Brook Street has a total of 80 total parking spaces.
That's roughly $20 million.
Yeah, and that's exactly. Those free to park spots are bringing in roughly $20 million in revenue to downtown each year. Let's get rid of that.
I don't think so.
Right.
I just don't see people walking down there during winter. I don't, it's already crazy. When they have First Fridays, you can't find parking down there.
Yeah.
We just stopped going to First Friday because you can't find parking. And it's.
You mean if you can't find parking, you wouldn't just park further away and walk? No. I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't walk there, you're not going to go there. If it's too far away. Look, I do not mind walking 10, 20 miles at Disneyland. But if I'm going shopping downtown, where I'm going to go down there and I'm going to have to, let's say I'm going down there to buy a chair for our studio here. I'm not going to walk with a chair a few blocks back to my car, or a quarter mile back to my car. So let us park. Yeah. Yeah. Let us have the parking. And that's what the consumer said. 80% of people said they would rather have more parking and not as much of the car-free, parking-free thing. Interesting, huh?
Yeah. And the only other thing that they would, to help this, would be making another parking garage. And I can't imagine people liking what that's going to look like.
Well, and if it's a parking garage, it's got to be strategically located where you can get in there.
Which is going to be prime real estate, which is also going to be incredibly it's going to be multiple stories, and people are not going to like a multiple story building downtown Bend. It's going to be not visually appealing to a lot of people.
I don't mind.
So I can't see how it's a tough thing, but it also is coming down from like state regulation.
Exactly.
Which is like, is that what Bend wants?
Right. They're saying you've got to create more walkability. And so the city's trying to do that according to the state mandate, yet people largely oppose it.
Yeah.
80%. I mean, massively oppose it. So we'll have to keep in keep up with that.
This is a fun topic.
All right, let's move on to something more fun. Let's talk about you know what? Let's say goodbye. Let's say goodbye to the outdated shore and hello to an exciting new waterfront experience. Miller Landing Beach is about to get a stunning makeover.
Let's show the pictures.
Ooh, let's show it. Okay, let's see. There's landing right there. Ooh, you know what? I've actually got.
So these giant marshmallows that have been in the river.
Okay, hang on. I'll pull it up.
Like when you cross the Colorado Bridge, if you look back, they look like giant marshmallows.
All right, Miller's Landing project to improve the Shoes River access beginning soon. They have started working on it. This is what it used to look like, which, I mean, honestly, it's not bad. It's fine, right?
But let's make it pretty.
And yeah. So anyway, I love that. This is the story right here. So they are changing Miller's Landing. Now, this is, for those of you who are listening, you're not exactly sure where Miller's Landing is. This is across the river from the Whitewater Park. So from the safe passage. Wait, don't say safe passage. It's the Whitewater Park. This is literally right across the river from it. So there's a park on the other side, Miller's Landing, and there's a nice little boardwalk there. Part of it is kind of fenced off so you don't fall in, and part of it is open so that you can actually access the river. A lot of times people will go through there and either launch or get out right there.
Yeah.
There's a small parking lot. There's a grass field there. It's a park.
I think this is great because this is going to disperse the amount of people that are on the other side getting out of the water from the safe or the Whitewater Park.
Yeah.
It also is going to make all the kayakers go to the other side, which is then all the floaters won't be running into the kayakers because it is quite a cluster during the summer going through that.
Oh yeah.
And it also allows the kayakers. Well, I mean, show the picture so people can understand.
So yeah, they've been putting these gigantic marshmallows in the river. You're right. They've been creating a little bit of a dam there so they can get the water out of that area so they can actually make the improvements. If you've driven on the Colorado Bridge, you've probably seen it. You're probably going, what's going on over there? But this is what they're planning to do. This is what it was before. And this is it currently torn up. Yeah, they're working on it. And this is where all the bags, this is an ice skating rink. We should go out there. This is what they're currently working on. They're getting ready to get rid of all the water in there so that they can create this. And this is pretty unique. They're going to create a really cool area, kind of one of the first of its kind from what I read in the story earlier. This beach access is going to be kind of first of its kind. So you can already tell there's going to have these rocks that are going to be tiered down to where you can, and what I love about the Park and Rec renderings, and most of the renderings that we pull up all the time on this show, they're pretty accurate.
Yeah.
They're very accurate. It's like, I'm sure this is
their
really,
vision and this is what
this is what it's going to look like. So anyway, they're, they've got this tiered step down with the rocks so that you can get in and it's not going to tear your feet up too much. It's not going to be super jagged and you're going to be able to launch on your paddleboard, which is great. People love that. If you're going to float the river.
Kayak.
Or this you can see right here. This is an actual launch here to get into a kayak. And then this over here in this backside is like a chute where you can launch into your kayak and maybe shoot out here. So obviously they're at the bottom of the Whitewater Park or a couple of big rapids that the kayakers love. So this is going to be probably a really important kind of launch space for the kayakers so that they're not having to get in on the other side with all of the, kids in their floaties, going through the Whitewater Park and all the surfers and stuff. I think this will be a really great access point for the kayakers.
I think it is incredibly entertaining just to watch the kayakers at all seasons. We have 4 inches of snow out there, and there I bet you is a kayaker or a surfer on this wave, which I think is truly unique. But also, another fun thing that about that area is Loot the Deschutes Instagram page, which if
I
you
love
lose
that.
anything in the Deschutes, he goes and finds it and then puts it up on Instagram so you can like regain your valuables, like your car keys, your wallet, phones.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Super nice sunglasses. Man, this guy finds rings.
He's not the same guy that like films people failing though.
No,
there's not. There's another Instagram where they film. The guy just films all day, and he gets all these people like dumping over and like failing through the whitewater park.
Truly entertaining.
That is entertaining too. But you're right. Loot the Deschutes. If you ever lose something going down the whitewater park, he'll probably have it.
Yeah.
So definitely follow him. Shout out to him. Shout out to that.
He also gives
channel.
you a sticker when he gives it back to you. Too.
Oh really?
Like of his logo and stuff.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. All right. So this is again what it is now. A lot of access right here, and you can see that the rocks are kind of tiered in there in a way in which you can be able to step into the river pretty easily. Kind of a safe river access area, landing area. So that's really cool. We're really excited about that. There's multiple different areas there because it's kind of because the park. Yeah, there's the other area. This is the main one, and this is the other area. Oh, let's go back to that.
New accessibility ramp.
New accessibility ramp.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. This is coming. This will be done this summer. So you'll be able to get into it this summer, take full advantage of it this summer. And I don't know, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah.
I've seen them working on this, over the last few weeks, and they're doing it in the winter. Like you said, one of the photos that we had up there before, there was an ice skating rink because the river froze right there and the water was standing and it was shallow. So it froze. But it's exciting that that's happening. They're getting ready to get that going. It's going to be fun. All right. Let's see. Ooh, this will be a fun one. Next story up. The Stars Above Sisters just earned official bragging rights. Our small town here has been named Oregon's second dark sky community, shining new light on preservation of its nighttime skies. So you didn't get to really fully read the article on this.
No, I didn't. I'm kind of in the dark.
Oh, and this is your community. Sisters is your hometown. So really, and it's funny, I was talking to someone else just a minute ago and they were like, when does it happen? When does the dark sky thing happen? It's not really a happening thing. It's just more of a designation. Like neighborhoods can be firewise. That just means that they abide by a certain set of regulations that make them better, more firewise. And so there is the dark sky. What is it? What is it called here? The International Dark Sky Program. Yes. And it's actually this program that you can get involved in where there's protocols and there's things that you have to do to prove that you're a dark sky community. So Sisters has been, is the second actual incorporated city in the state of Oregon to be designated as a dark sky community. But there are like 7 other actual areas that they're not like fully incorporated, cities. They're just different areas. Let's see, such as Sun River, Eastern Lake County, Oregon Caves National Monument, Cottonwood Canyon State Park. I actually really like that place. If you've never been to Cottonwood Canyon, it's on the John Day River. Great place to go fishing. Prineville Reservoir State Park and Antelope. So,
because there's a lot of observatory, like big telescopes and stuff like that are in those areas. We don't have a lot of light pollution in.
No, it's pretty nice.
Kind of because of those reasons, because people are very observant of the lights and there's regulations on, where they can aim and stuff like that on houses and stuff like that.
Yes.
The wattage, that kind of stuff.
And that's part of what this is. So there are 5 kind of principles for outdoor lighting. Here, I'll pull this up real quick. There we go. This is from the actual Dark Sky website. So the first one is useful. Use light only if it's needed. All light should have a clear purpose. 2, targeted. Direct light so it falls only where it is needed. They don't want spotlights shooting up towards the sky, right?
We're not Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So use shielding and carefully aiming the target to the direction of light beam so that it points downward, not to spill beyond where it is needed. Also, low level. 3 is low level. The light should be no brighter than necessary. So it's actually downtown.
Look, I already knew some of these regulations.
This is kind of common sense. Maybe we'll all be dark sky certified here in the future. Use the lowest light level required. I love coming into downtown Sisters late at night. the trees are lit up in the winter. It is so pretty, very well lit. However, it's only as bright as you need it to be. So it's got a cool glow. And I think we've got some B-roll we can show of that in the future. Control, step 4 is controlled. Use light only when it is needed. Use controllers such as timers and motion detectors to ensure that the light is available when it is needed, dimmed when possible, and turned off when not needed. And the last principle of outdoor lighting is warm colored. 5, use warm colored lights where possible. Limit the amount of short wavelength blue violet light to the least. Is that the
purple lights that were around the roundabout, you think?
No.
That Bend accidentally bought that now they have to use up.
Yeah, Bend. The light posts around Bend, I think they just kind of had a bad order come in where they bought a bunch of purple light bulbs instead of a bunch of normal white or even warm colored ones. And so now most of the lights, you can tell, like when one burns out, a couple weeks later they replace it and it's purple.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. I think that was just a whoopsie. I don't know for sure, but
which I've had a lot of clients state the fact that it is really dark at night here, which is something I'm used to, but they've pointed out to me that they're like, you guys don't have any street lights and stuff like that. We do have street lights, like where you're walking into a store or something like that, but it is dark, and it is to view the sky and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Some of the comments on the story that I read about the sisters dark sky thing just included, A, light pollution, but B, it's really good for like nocturnal animals.
Yeah.
There's already a lot of deer in Sisters. Like the official welcoming committee of Sisters is a
herd of deer.
A whole herd of deer that like every time you come in that you see them.
I joke that the city council puts them there, and like fence them in there so you see them when you come into town.
Oh, like, I love Sisters. There's the deer there. Yeah, they live there. They're actually like, annoyance. Like people like,
they're just like local rabbits.
But
very
they are
large rabbits.
Very large rabbits. No, they really are. They really are very cool. So, anyway, the Sister Dark Sky thing is kind of cool. I mean, I do think it's kind of cool. We don't want, I do hate when you come into town from out like Eastern Oregon and you're coming back into town late at night and you can see Bend. Bend is glowing. It is glowing. It is lit up. So, but at the same time, it is a bigger community, and that's just why. So, all right, let's see. On the next note here, here's a bummer. The Brookswood Plaza staple is preparing to close its doors. CE Lovejoy's market is bowing out, leaving neighbors and shoppers wondering what's next for the community. You remember that? Remember Brookswood Market?
I like that little store.
It's great.
I think it adds a wonderful amenity to that end of town because once you go all the way down Brookswood, you either have to come all the way back in, and I say all the way back in, it's like a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
But to go to Safeway or Walmart or something like that. This allowed like, hey, I got to go grab some eggs or some milk or something like that real quick for those communities down there. I can't imagine it not getting picked up by somebody else, like Newport Markets, like Oliver Lemons or something like that.
Yeah.
Natural Grocer, something that will allow people to still have this unique amenity for those neighborhoods down there. But it is a bummer.
It is a bummer. It's been there for 15 years. We've been there. We've been here. Well, we've been going to it for almost has been 15 years. We moved back here in 2010. And so we've been here as long as it is back in Bend from our adventures in Tennessee, but we've been here for 15 years as well. And so it is pretty sad to see it go. We knew the people that owned it and ran it. And, it was really, it's sad that it's going away now. I agree. I hope somebody else picks it up. There's a lot of homes and residences. If you're unfamiliar with where we're talking about, this is on Brookswood. This is in the south west part of town off kind of the Brookswood corridor down there. There's a small shopping center and
it has like a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah.
Anything that you need. You have like a postal place, you have a restaurant, you have hair salon, you have, I think a workout facility there now. A dog groomer, a preschool. It's got everything you need.
Except for now a grocery store. So hopefully.
And that's a huge.
And
building.
Maybe what happens is maybe a couple of different people take it and they kind of split it up a little bit and you have a smaller market space and then you have some other small retail off to the side or something like that. But it is a bummer that it's going away.
I mean, having a grocery, like a lot of these big neighborhoods always say their flagship thing is going to be a grocery store. And that is something that's been incredibly difficult for like, say like Northwest Crossing to secure.
It's called an anchor tenant, right?
Yeah.
It's
that's like what I was.
Yeah. It's a big anchor tenant and it kind of brings everything together, and all the little businesses like right now, like Costco's the anchor tenant for all those new things that they're building on the periphery there. There's going to be a lot of little retail going in there. Costco's the anchor. So you're right. Northwest Crossing struggled. They now have the Grove, which is not a grocery store, which is what they wanted to have on that corner forever. For 20 years, they wanted to have a grocery store there. Turns out they've got a food court there, which is awesome.
I mean, what is the Provisions? I think it is called up in Northwest Crossing. Yeah, West Coast Provisions is a like tiny little place where you can go get milk and eggs and stuff like that. But a grocery store, even if a small boutique type grocery store, is a huge tenant for any of these type developments.
Yeah.
I hope it's like Newport Markets or something like that.
That would be great. That would be great. There's that new Asian restaurant there in the corner. Ja? I don't know what it's.
We haven't been there.
J-I-A?
We should go.
Ja? Oh man. First of all, their socials like fire. Second of all, their food looks insane. And third, we got to go on a date. I'm officially asking you on a date.
Oh,
can we go?
Sure.
All right.
Why not?
All right. Next story up. Last story here that we want to talk about here before we wrap up this, but it's kind of the big one. I'm really excited about that. This is breaking news. I saw a little something like a one-liner.
Little one-liner blurb.
New Old Mill building happening. And I clicked on the report and I went into it and there was nothing there. It was one photo. We got all kinds of goodies to show you. So let's see.
We did some digging.
So Ben's beloved Old Mill District is set to expand its vibrant riverside scene with three new buildings ushering fresh opportunities for shopping, dining, and even some residential. We'll talk about that. So there is new buildings going to be built in the Old Mill District.
Yeah. Immediately I was like,
where? Okay.
Where?
I mean, figure out how to show us where.
I know that they're losing Victoria's Secret.
Correct.
But with these new buildings and stuff like that, I'm just interested to see, because I mean, let's just face it, shopping's a little minimum here in Bend. So it's like, what are they going to bring to the Old Mill? That's exciting.
So here's what we have. Here's kind of an overlay. I'll be able to show some photos and some renderings because there's probably 10 renderings here. Again, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry you won't be able to see this. I'll try to explain it to you. So you guys know where the water feature is on we'll call it the north side of the Old Mill District, over there where what was it? The restaurant like Pastini and Cafe Yum and the new Ladybird. That's a great place. Anyway, there's the water feature over there. There's a little casting area there, and then there's a couple of bridges. That's what we're looking at here. These are the bridges that go across. And there's the little the gravel parking lot far to the north there, right when you turn in. And that's kind of like prime concert parking, if you ask me. We usually park there for the concerts. So that's what we're talking about. This is the area. There's a grass field. If you're walking north towards the Whitewater Park, there's a grass field there. Let me go to the next rendering here, and you can actually see where this is located. Same water area here. So right directly north of that water feature is a building. Where
they give
all those bikes.
All the bikes.
Yeah. All those bicycles that you can rent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a building there. There's going to be a building really close to the water, actually, just on this side of the walkway. That's building X, building Y is across, and then building Z is actually where that extra parking lot is, which I like to call the concert overflow parking.
Well, where is the pathway going to go? Is
the pathway still there on this side? Okay. Yeah. And then the river's actually here. So this is the pathway. This is that. And then there's a road that'll carry. They're going to change the road a little bit. But this is really interesting. In fact, actually, you can look right here, and you're probably not going to be able to see this, and you certainly won't be able to see it if you're listening only. But building Y, it's got retail.
Which is by the river.
It says one space.
Pond.
It's got 6,000 square feet of retail. It's got 1,400 square feet of restaurant space, ADA accessible. Building Z is going to have,
which is over in the gravel parking lot, right?
Building Z, yeah.
Okay.
It actually says 9 spaces of residential, which is interesting. which might be like condos upstairs or apartments upstairs, something like that. Perhaps we're not exactly sure. We don't have a whole lot of detail yet. More retail and also ADA accessible. And then building X itself, it looks like it's
going to be a restaurant.
It looks like it's only restaurants, 8,262 square feet. Plus or minus 200 square feet. Is that what that means?
A patio
I'm
on
not
that
super good
for
at
the
these
concerts is probably going to be.
That would be good. You wouldn't see anything because it's a little bit past the stage, but you could hear it.
Some concerts, it sounds better across the river anyway. So
I agree. Let's see if I can find the renderings here. They're all here. However,
they're pretty snazzy buildings. Of course, we love beautiful buildings here.
Oh, perfect. Here we go. I'm going to pull this up. Am I? Maybe I'm not. Yes.
No. There we go.
Shoot.
There.
So there we go. Can I just move through these? No, that's not on the screen. That's on this screen. That's the problem. I got to move this over to here.
Right.
There we go. But now I got to move them all over. Talk for a second so that I can figure out how to do this.
Doesn't say, oh, this is a cafe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and this is building Y.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like it has a... And then this one I think is interesting because I'm wondering if this is building X with John. We're bringing it up here.
I know. I'm trying to get to it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to where downloads. Downloads. Because I have them all right here. So open this guy up. No, it keeps open on the wrong page. Bring it over here. Open. So we've got a lot of renderings here that we can show you. Browse all your photos and videos. Will that work? No, it keeps bringing it up over here. That's not what I want. All right. Go to this one.
Parking entry, which this looks back. So this must be across from the casting pond where you can see Chico's through the little walkway there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then looks like you walk through there and you can go into left or right into, this
is on Powerhouse Drive, looking back down.
Oh, so this is looking at the gravel parking lot.
Yep, looking down there, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's super interesting.
Which also you see people standing above it. I wonder if that's going to be like the condos or
could be
the residential that they say they're building.
Yep. This is the you can already tell what this is right here. This is the current pond that it is. That's usually parking spaces right there, but it's going to be a building. Obviously, we've got retail there going on. That's super interesting. Another look at this. So
this is the restaurant near the river, which totally has like brewery vibes.
Uh-huh.
I think on the other picture it shows
one of them said pump house, as if that doesn't mean anything. I don't think that means anything. I think that just means that's.
Well, I'm wondering if it's going to be like the Grove. I think it'd be really cool if it was the Grove and have really more food options versus just one giant restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it kind of has like maybe some, I don't know. I am assuming.
I think it's cool. I think this is great. This is going to be a really fun new thing for the Old Mill. I actually love the Old Mill. I just think it's a great spot. It's one of my favorite spots in town to go and to visit. Just because, it's walkable.
Yes, that's walkable.
The Old Mill is walkable. It's walkable, and there's lots of great amenities. There's the river right there.
But the Old Mill's designed that way.
You're right. It wasn't retrofitted that way.
Yeah,
it was designed that way. So there you have it. The Old Mill is expanding with 3 new buildings coming soon. I'm really excited about that. I don't know that it's 1,000% official. The plans were largely approved that I looked at online. I think it's almost all approved, but you know how the city is. It's like getting things approved. Sometimes takes a while. So I don't know when this construction is going to be. We'll give you guys an update as soon as we find out more about these 3 new buildings. But I think it's great. It's very exciting. Very new stuff.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think? Should we wrap it up here?
Sure thing.
Guys, thanks so much for watching or listening. Both watching and listening. If you listen on Spotify, you can watch us.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's YouTube. Otherwise, you're just listening. Got it.
And also, if you have opinions on this walkability with the downtown, or you have, maybe it's your expertise, chime in because, maybe we're not thinking about something that is going to be implemented that is going to be super beneficial that we don't know. And also let us know where you're listening from.
Yep.
And
then if you or somebody you know is looking to buy or sell in the area, we would love to be your local real estate resource of choice.
Yeah.
That's how we end it.
That's how we end it.
Thanks guys so much for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks on our next episode. This is every 2 weeks we're doing this. And then catch all of our other YouTube videos in between. Thanks guys. See ya.